Let's get to it. Someone wrote, hey, when you clap your hands together, make sure your hands connect. Hey, man, what do you think I am, Joe Biden? I can't connect two hands that are in front of me? What's going on here? This is the Sold Not For Sale podcast. This is episode 637 or 636. It's one of the two. Now, what we have today is, man, kind of sucks. Love this guy. But we're going to see Joe Rogan backpedaling pretty heavy on his stance on Gavin Newsom. As you know, I made a video. You can check it out. It's my newest video that's out right now. The one I just made. It's about Joe Rogan saying that he wants to turn over a new leaf and not be so criticizing of people. And he does that in flying colors in his stance on Gavin Newsom. This is a complete backpedal from where he stood on Gavin Newsom just 3 months ago. 3 months ago, I would say. And it kind of makes me feel like everybody has gotten the message that, hey, this guy's running for president and all of you are to back down. It's very sad because I'm always in the camp of these people, these truth seekers, they're not bought and paid for. You know, I'm big on Rogan is not bought and paid for, but it's just odd the way all this is happening, the timing of all this. So let's just get right into it. It's a bit of a sad day. I'll be honest. Before I bring you all that, I got to bring you to the store. This is IamCoachColin.com. This is the Public Enemy #1 shirt. Google the World Economic Forum. And just, you know what? I just look up Klaus Schwab, okay? Just look up some clips of this guy on YouTube, on Twitter, anywhere. You'll understand quickly why he's public enemy #1. I'm always dancing around who this is. You know who it is. It's Klaus Schwab. He's absolutely terrible. Let's get into the certified pure blood shirt as well for those of you that did not give in to the demands of the government when it came to the pandemic. Good job. Maintain that stature. Do not give in. And we also have the We the People shirt as well. That same gentleman, Klaus Schwab, who has coined the phrase, you will own nothing and be happy. And we the people are giving him the middle finger because that's what these elites deserve. These globalists, these elites, these people who think they're going to tell us what to do at the drop of a hat and we are all going to listen in unison by the billions need to be given the middle finger. My opinion, of course. Now, if you want 10% off of anything you just saw, all you got to do is put in the discount code I am Coach Colin, all capital letters, all one word, one L in the name Colin gets you 10% off. That's on us. And I'm a little riled up today because my heroes are disappointing me. And it's disappointing. And I guess I have to do it. So we're going to listen to Joe Rogan backpedal heavily, and then I'm going to even it right on out. That's what I'm going to do. Let's get into it. What we got here? You want to start with the bat? Let's start. You know what? Let's start where Rogan was at first. This is just 3 months ago. Let's listen to what Joe Rogan had to say about Gavin Newsom just 3 months ago. Let's go.
President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a f***ing con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors. Yeah. Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone-cold, narrative-driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and you know that's a human being. With Newsom, you got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want President Trump.
That was just where he was 3 months ago with it. You know what I mean? And now we're going to hear where he's at today with Gavin Newsom. The timing of this is just unsettling because all people have been talking about is how this gentleman, Gavin Newsom, seems like he's going to be running for president. And now all of a sudden, this stiff backpedaling on his position in Gavin Newsom is just odd. Let's listen to it.
About a lot of these big cities, like particularly like Los Angeles, that are just overrun by these homeless encampments. And it was interesting because I saw something today about Gavin Newsom. And he is trying to apparently there's some sort of law that he's trying to get rid of that does not allow you to move homeless people. And he's trying to get rid of that. And he's making sense. It's like, this is not good for them. You're not saying that you're not caring about these homeless people, but to just be forced by law to not be able to move these encampments seems insane, not just counterproductive, but a barrier to productivity, a barrier to progress. And, kudos to him for trying to do that. I give that guy a lot of shit, and I probably shouldn't. Because I think that job is insane. He said something crazy about me recently. So his son is involved in these micro cults where he's listening to people like Jordan Peterson and me, and I think he's upset because I called him a con man, which I probably shouldn't, because that's not productive either. Just call someone a con man. He's a politician. He's doing what he's trying to do. But he did do something that I really like recently. He vetoed this bill that would have forced a parent to affirm a child's gender in order to keep custody of the child. It was like some crazy sort of Orwellian thing that they were trying to do, where you have to affirm a child's gender. If the child is trying to change gender, if you do not do that, you could lose custody of your child. And he vetoed that. So kudos to him for doing that. It's got to be a fucking insane job, And for us to stand on the outside and just shit on these people, especially someone like him who's handsome and tall and slick back hair and he talks really well. It says he's bullshitting us. Look at all the problems he's created. Look at all the things. But also try managing those problems. Try figuring it out. What do you do with 100,000 homeless people, particularly if you can't even move them?
Yeah.
Right? And so kudos to him for trying to figure out a way to get rid of that law. It's so easy to criticize on the outside. It's so easy to just look at this stuff on the outside and go, you need to get it together. You fucking suck. But who doesn't suck? What mayor of a big city doesn't suck?
There's always going to be someone who thinks the person is totally awful, and people who are like, they're okay, and people who love them,
Well, especially, look, no one cared about him at all until COVID. Nobody.
And then they get into the whole thing. He even backpedals on the way that the pandemic was handled in California. It's the reason that he left, and he's backpedaling on it. Oh, man. Now, again, I love Joe Rogan, and that'll never stop. Listen to his show every day. If there's not a new episode released, sometimes I'll even go back to old episodes and listen. So I love the show, and I love this guy. He's great. But to see the backpedaling is just a little sad to me, because, I know that I understand that you may not want to criticize people, but if you don't want to criticize someone, I would say that you can just not speak about them. But to all of a sudden take them where you were criticizing them, rightfully so, I might add, rightfully criticizing the person, and then all of a sudden now start speaking about them in this good light. It just, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. Really? I feel like you don't have to do that. I'm going to show you some more clips. There's some more clips I'm going to show you of people talking about Gavin Newsom. And this is where it makes me think, like, do all these guys who seem to be these freedom of speech people, do they all get the notes at the same time? Because now we have Patrick Bet-David, in a way, like, endorsing Gavin Newsom. In a slight way, but still, like, it's just not making any sense to me. And when we call Gavin Newsom a con man, or when Joe Rogan did, he did it rightfully so. I'm gonna play a few clips, and then we're gonna end it off with Trump just laying it out as it is, because we can always depend on Trump to do that. Where's the first clip? Let's bring this up here. We're on Twitter, of course. Now, this is someone saying that this is Gavin Newsom trying to position himself more to the center and less to the left. But I argue that. Now listen to this clip and what they're actually talking about. Here, let's go.
Gender issue came up. Why should parents not know if their kids are transitioning at school?
It's a hell of a thing. You're talking about 1% of the population. Climate change that's impacted 100% of the population wasn't even brought up. And we're talking about trans issues.
Here in California, this is an issue for you.
It's a big issue for parents. This is a front and center issue.
Why should parents not know?
This is one of the greatest distractions, and it's classic 1% of the population in the United States. These kids just want to live.
These kids just
want to live. And we're having a debate about trans issues at the Reagan Library. It's be ashamed.
Should be ashamed. I love when politicians take this way of being. When somebody's asking them, because keep in mind, what they're talking about is children being able to transition, like they let the school know, and then the parents aren't notified. The parents don't have to be involved in this whole thing. Kids. We're not talking about 19-year-old, 25-year-olds. We're talking about kids are allowed to do this. And this person's asking him about that. And what he decides to do, again, this is not positioning yourself to the center. This is the most left thing you could do. When you're asked about this bill, or when you're asked about what you're doing, where you can have a child transition without their parents knowing, okay? Without them knowing, and the thing you bring up when that's brought to you, when you're questioned about that, is how come we're not fighting? How come we're not talking about climate change? That affects everybody. Man, that happening to people's kids without them knowing, that affects everybody. And now, parents aren't 100% of the population, but they're a huge percent of the population, and parents should be able to know about this. Now, again, when Rogan called him a con man, he acknowledged that he called him a con man. He was right. So to take it back and to say I shouldn't call him that is crazy. He is a con man. And again, it's the most left thing you could do. Let's talk about climate change and then tell the press that they should be ashamed of themselves for even asking you about this type of thing. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's not like it's not something that's under his control or something that he himself is passing and making happen. It's not like it's I guess I'm the one who has to do it. Someone in the comments of the other video I made, because I was like, if Joe doesn't call out these people, who's going to? You know, and I don't have nearly as big of a platform as Joe, but I will do the calling out if need be, because I'm not going to just stand by and listen to this nonsense. And again, when I was talking about Patrick Bet-David, this is Patrick Bet-David's tweet. Aside from Trump, Gavin Newsom is the winner of the debate. Right after, he has the balls to go on Hannity selling his ideas to a Fox audience. Love him or hate him, he's the Trump of the left? And he convinced a candidate, DeSantis, to debate him. Do all these guys get their talking points at the same time? They just get pulled into some room, some dark room, and say, "Hey, listen, we're all talking good about Gavin now, okay? We're all talking good about Gavin now." And then I guess I can play the clip of what he has to say. I mean, Jesus.
Governor, what do you think is going to be the takeaway after this debate from the American people?
I think it will be clear that Trump comes out the dominant force after this debate. I mean, this is the XFL. This is JV. I mean, and honestly, I mean, this is maybe a vice presidential debate. These guys are getting lapped by Donald Trump. It's not even close. It's not even interesting. And I think what's most interesting to me is, do they recognize that? Or are they actually going to show up and run against the guy that's in the way of their prospects to be the nominee? It's a zero-sum game. It's a binary choice at the end of the day. It's not a ranked choice voting. So either these guys come after the front runner and distinguish themselves, or otherwise they're wasting everybody's time. And I say this with love and respect. There's a reason some of the advertising is being discounted for this debate. People don't even want to tune in because they know that fundamentally.
You know, right now, with what he just did, with what he just said, you know what he's doing as he's talking about them going at the front runner so they can differentiate themselves? That's what he's trying to do right now. It's very clear that this guy's about to run for president. And that's so bad. He's like a male Hillary Clinton, and you know, it's his body count's just at 0 as far as we know. That's what he's like, basically. He is a con man. He has no love and respect, as he just said. He has no love and respect for a bunch of people that he's never met before, barely talks to. Like what? Oh man, Joe Rogan was right. The first clip, the first Joe that I played, where he was saying he's a cardboard cutout, that is correct. You are correct, Joe. The backpedaling is so sad. And then this is him actually being asked if he's going to run for president. And he does the regular politician thing. He doesn't even answer the question.
That voters are so fed up with what they see on the streets of their cities that as a politician, you've got to clean up those streets?
Yeah, well, that's generally the case, but that's not the inspiration for Care Court.
But is there a political factor in this for you?
As an electoral strategy, I'm turned out. That's not the issue. The politics here is compassion. The politics is purpose.
You may be termed out here, but does cleaning up the streets of California factor into a potential presidential run?
I'm never going to overpromise that in the short run. I mean, we are struggling in this state.
You're not answering my question.
Homelessness. No, housing and homelessness.
People suggest that cleaning up California streets could be part of a larger political strategy for you.
I think that's table stakes. I think that's just the foundational responsibility of anyone that gets into my position. That's the day job. It's not about some grand ambition. Absolutely not.
Bro, you can't trust this guy. You kidding me? He is a con man. He is a con man. He'll lie at the drop of a hat. He's like a regular after school special politician. You know, that old 80s movie, and he just lies and smiles, acts like he cries. You know what he's like? You know what he's like? He's like he's not like the Trump of the left. He's like an American Justin Trudeau. That's exactly what he is. He's an American Justin Trudeau. And if he runs for president, and Joe Rogan even brought it up. He's like, he's handsome, he's tall, he has nice teeth. That's exactly what he said about Trudeau. And look how that turned out. It's just crazy. This channel's going to become me fighting for Joe's backpedaling. Every time he backpedals, I'm going to play a clip of where he stood before, and then I'm going to go at the person. Oh, man. Let's get to Trump. Trump laying it out only the way Trump would. You know, say what you want about Trump, but there's no flip-flopping, you know? Some people are like, oh, it's a lot of the same. It's like, yeah, it is a lot of the same. Because somebody who stands in their convictions and what they believe, you're going to hear a lot of the same from them. That's the way it goes. This is Trump talking about California. Let's get it.
Symbol of American success today under the radical left fascists and Marxists that run your state. That's who's running your state. Bad people. It's becoming a symbol of our nation's decline. Gavin Newsom and the far left communists in Sacramento. He did a great job as mayor of San Francisco, didn't he? But the far-left communists in Sacramento, San Francisco, and L.A., cities which are absolutely being destroyed rapidly on a daily basis, have given you sanctuary cities, wide-open borders, mass homeless encampments, out-of-control taxes, soaring income, inequality like nobody's ever seen before, Marxist district attorneys, woke tech tyrants, they are woke, rolling blackouts, child sexual mutilation, and roving bands of looters, criminals, and thugs. But other than that, I think they're doing quite a good job.
Oh, Trump. Oh, you can always rely on Trump. Not only does he tell it how it is, he gives you a little comedic relief on top of that. This is beautiful. I'm going to be covering this whole event that he did too. There's some glorious clips inside of this whole talk. It was like he did an hour-long Netflix special, like as a comedian. Like it was incredible. So good. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about Joe Rogan's position on Gavin Newsom before and after, and what does all this mean? Obviously, I think just the fact that he's being interviewed by 60 Minutes and they're asking him about a presidential run symbolizes a presidential run. Patrick Bet-David, minorly endorsing him and branding him as the Trump of the left kind of puts him above even Biden. And it's like, why are you doing that? And then Joe Rogan just basically saying, he shouldn't have called him a con man. And his job's really hard. And, who doesn't suck in that position? It's all for some reason, just, I don't know. It just reeks of like somebody had a talk with these people, Oh, gosh. I hate it. I hate to think about that. I love this guy. He's the best. He's the greatest. Anyways, guys, if you haven't liked the video already, like the video. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We got 1 to 3 videos a day. It's hard to keep up if you don't do that. And other than that, I am out.